Hey guys, Ryan here with Pitching Tutors, and today we'll be going over the start or the set position. We only practice pitching from the stretch, which helps minimize excess movements and is appropriate for any situation with any amount of runners on base. The extra movements from pitching from the windup are not really necessary when first starting out and may take longer to integrate, making practices less efficient. If you want to add the windup to your practices, then that's your call. We've never used the windup in our practices, so everything that I say from this point on will be starting from the stretch. And we'll cover exactly why we don't use the windup in a future video. If you're using signs for pitches, then you should get the sign from the catcher before you come into the set position. First, for you beginners, you need to know that the pitcher has to come set before they can start throwing the ball. Coming set means that you get to the ready position and hold it for about 2 seconds. Times may vary with different umpires. If you don't come set for long enough, umpires will usually give you a verbal warning before calling a balk at younger ages. A balk is when you either don't come set for long enough, you start your pitch but don't actually finish it, or if you introduce something that's totally weird that you normally don't do, then the umpire will call a balk on you. Once you lift your front foot while in the set position, you have to throw the ball to the catcher with a few exceptions. If you're a lefty, you can pick up your front foot to throw to first in a pickoff attempt. And if the ump calls time while you're in the middle of your motion, you don't actually have to throw the ball. If you pick up your front foot in the act of turning towards the back of the rubber without starting your delivery, that's permissible if done correctly. That's a pickoff move that we'll cover more in depth later. If you balk while there's runners on base, they either get to advance a base or they get to score if they were already on third. So that's pretty much all you need to know about balks as a young pitcher. So make sure that you come set because you definitely don't want that to happen to you. While you're in the set position, your back foot should be in contact with the rubber, your glove hand should be over your throwing hand to hide your grip, and they should all be above your stomach and below your chest and folded. While you still have both feet on the ground and in set position, 90% of your weight should be shifted onto the back foot. A common mistake is having your weight 50-50, kind of like how you would have it standing around waiting in a line. The reason why you want to have most of your weight over the back foot is that transfer of weight from the back to the front is what generates a lot of the momentum that you're going to need for the pitch. Now that you're in the set position, you have a few options from here. If there's runners on base, you can keep them from getting a big lead if steals are allowed at your level by threatening to pick them off. We'll go over pickoffs in detail in a later video. From the set position, you can also step back and restart your routine by lifting up your back foot and setting it right down behind the rubber. So if you have an itch that was bugging you or you need to sneeze or anything, you can always step off and restart your routine. Most of the times when you start in set position, you would just start your motion and throw the ball to the catcher. Other than the things that we've already talked about, the only other things that you can do are move your eyeballs or turn your head if there's a runner on second base. We've even seen kids get called for taking in a deep breath when that wasn't originally part of their normal motion. Just to be safe, practice the 2-second set position with every pitch. So if you found something useful, hit that like button and subscribe to support us and get notified on future content.